around a bit. Right.
Sure, sir. So, would you mind if we record the session because there are some people who couldn't attend it?
Sure. Please go ahead. I guess there's some background noise. There's
Uh,
some consistent background noise that I'm hearing.
uh, was it better when I muted myself?
Pretty much. Uh, now it's not there. Now it's
Uh,
not there.
I think it's from my device. I'll try
You
to
can
keep.
maybe your mobile is near the laptop or something.
I'll try to make it. Guys, call all your friends. If anybody is not here, we'll be starting in a minute.
हाँ
Guys, please stay on mute during the session. So we'll wait for just a minute and then we'll begin. Guys, in the meanwhile, you can switch on your cameras so that the session becomes more interactive.
Yeah, guys, I'd like to see a couple of faces at least.
Hi, Arjun. Hi, Dharmendra. Hello. Hi, Raghavi. Hi, Harshita.
Hello.
Oh, we have more than 100 people.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello everyone.
ये अभी मैम सर वाला भी
Hello,
अभी भी
everyone.
चलता है क्या यार?
नहीं नहीं, no ma'am sir, please call me by my name or call me दीदी या जो कुछ भी है.
Okay,
Yes, Didi.
we have more than 100 people. I guess we can start now.
Yes, let's begin. So,
Okay, so please.
hi everyone. I hope you all are safe at your homes. Welcome to day one of Novus Fiesta, a weekend designed for freshers to deep dive into the world of entrepreneurship. I'm Tanya Mazumdar and I'll be your host for today. We're very glad that we have Mr. Nishant Shukla with us for a session on From Ideas to Funding, the Basics of Starting Up. Nishant sir is an IIT BHU alumnus and co-founder of Examarly. Examarly is an edtech platform which attempts to reshape the world of e-learning by emphasizing the importance of planning, strategy, and revisions while preparing for competitive exams. We're very grateful, sir, that you could be with us today. If you guys have any questions during the session, please feel free to put them in the chat box and we'll take it up later. And without any further delays, let's begin the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. So, okay. So I guess everyone who's here is thinking about that someday you will be starting up or something like that. Maybe a couple of you would have some ideas. So my first question to all of you is, why do you want to start? And please feel free to put it in the chat box. I guess if everyone starts speaking, it will get a little haphazard. So if you could just tell me why you want to start up. Like there are already so many companies, everything. Why do you want to start? What would be your reason or motivation to do that? And please interact a bit. I want to, like, this session is for you. Okay, I've had my own learnings while building Examarly, so I've had my own reasons. But this session is focused on all of you people, and the focus is that I can deliver some help to you, I can give some guidance to you. Okay, so we are getting some nice replies to change the future, to solve problems. पैसा वैसा होगा, बहुत सही बात है। देखो, जो भी मोटिवेशन हो उसके साथ क्लैरिटी इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट। यू वांट मनी एंड इट्स अ गुड इनफ मोटिवेशन। ओके, want to bring change, you want freedom. Ankit, let me tell you, freedom in a startup, you are bound by your partners, your investors, your customers, your team members. So freedom, the kind of freedom that you are thinking of, to get that you will need a lot of time.
Sir,
ऑस्ट्रेलिया
for
तो
me,
नहीं। यस,
sir, for me only money.
बहुत सही, ये भी मोटिवेशन सही है, लेकिन कितने पैसे के लिए कितनी मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी वो भी समझना बहुत जरूरी है।
Yes.
Okay, contribute to Indian GDP, innovate experiences. Good. Okay, we've gotten a lot of replies. Great, 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 great. Okay, so how do you start thinking about starting up? Okay, a lot of times we think that we have an idea and then we start building up from that. Okay, but the actual way to think of about these things should be that you identify a problem. Okay, if I say that we will have flying taxis, okay, that I'm going to build flying taxi, there is a company that is coming up with e-planes. Okay, so that sounds really amazing, that okay, the future will be different, but you have to think about the exact problem. What is the exact problem is that solved? Will that help people, and the cost associated with it? So if you have to go from one place to another, okay, right now let's say it takes an hour and a half in a city like Delhi, Bangalore and all, how much time will that cut down, and what will be the impact on people, and will that cost be useful? So if you go into the problem analysis, not just the idea. See, we all have very amazing ideas that there will be a robot that will wake me up, brush me, feed me, and all of these things. But the kind of cost associated with that, will people be paying for that? All of those things will start coming up because you are trying to build a business. Okay. So think from the problem side. And once you are focusing on the problem, see, the idea can change. An Academy started off as a YouTube channel. Then they started to make a platform where everything was free. Then they started getting a lot of costs in like server cost and all of the other things. Then they went ahead and said that you can buy subscription of each individual educator. Now their eventual goal was that quality education, the access to quality education should reach in each corner of the country. Now the motivation for that was Gaurav Munjal's own. Like I guess a few of you people would have attended Kota, maybe. You'll have prepared
Yes.
online only, or has someone attended Kota?
No, I have attended Kotna.
Okay, so in Kota, what happens that people go for the best quality education, best quality teachers. But if you're not in the top batches, you don't get to study from the best teachers. Now, this is something that happened with Gaurav Munjal also. He was ready to pay anything, but he couldn't get access to some particular teachers. Then he worked on this problem that whoever wants to study from whichever teacher, they should have access. See, if you're not doing well and you are given a bad teacher, you will not do well compared to people who have better teachers. So that is the problem he was solving. He's made multiple changes, so these are called pivots. While you start off from one place, you end up in another place, you keep making pivots. With the pivots, your focus is that you keep solving the problem is being solved, and for a large enough audience. Because if you're not earning money, if you're not making money for it, eventually you cannot sustain the business. Making money also becomes very, very important and very critical. Hence, do not think from the position of ideas. It's good to start with an idea. You get an idea, then you delve deeper, what is the problem it is solving, and maybe you might make some changes in the idea. Okay, so I would want to hear a couple of ideas from you people, and we'll do an analysis that what kind of problem are you actually trying to solve. Okay, so that would give you all a better understanding. Yeah, Prateek Mishra.
So I had an idea of solving the problem of e-waste in our society. So I think that I will start from e-waste, as e-waste is most means it is profitable. According to me, it is more profitable as a recycling e-waste, or means recycling e-waste, and then I can go forward to all kind of waste that are present in the society.
Okay,
And then
so you want to solve the problem of e-waste. Okay, e-waste. Are you all comfortable with Hindi also? Because I keep switching. Hope that is fine with
Yes,
all of
sir.
you.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
cool,
Hindi is
cool.
fine.
sir.
Okay, so आपने you've thought that you will solve the problem of e-waste. Now it is a big problem. Okay, we all are using multiple devices. I have two mobile phones. I have one laptop. Like within my house, there are right now 15 to 16 devices which will produce e-waste. Okay, so prima facie, big problem. And as we move forward, more and more e-waste will, like we will use more devices and more e-waste will get generated. Now, when you start thinking of how to solve, you have to first set up a distribution. Now distribution works in this way. Let's see, people can also sell these products, people can also throw these products. So what all products will you collect? You have to educate people. You educate people, you set up distribution. Now you collect whatever waste and whatever devices are not working with people with you. Now you will have to set up a place. Now there will be very different kinds of e-waste: headphones, earphones, mobiles, laptops. Now you'll have to set up a place where you can maybe take apart these things. Whatever is still useful, you maybe sell that to some companies who are again building these things. So this is how you have to structuralize things part by part. Now you might come to a conclusion in some area that something is very difficult to do. Let's say setting up a company or setting up a factory where everything will be taken apart will be a little different. So here you can maybe go to a partner, go and partner with someone. You can focus on educating people and collecting their waste, and then taking apart these things. There you can partner with someone. So this is how you can break down this into how you would actually execute this. And then you have to see for each thing how much you can spend and how much you can make. Okay, we'll get a little deeper into this at a later point. I just wanted to do an initial discussion with a couple of people. A couple of other people have raised their hands. How can I check that? Okay, Raghavi. Let's
Good
go to
evening.
Raghavi. Yeah. Hi.
So, I basically, my grandparents have recently moved. So then I to my house. So then I realized that nowadays all people are working, and there are no people to take care of them. So I thought that all the house helps and housemaids who work in our house, suppose my organization targets them and trains them to a certain level so that they work to target a middle class population of old people so that they can take care of them. So there is one strata of society like those Bollywood or that business people who have access to these people. Like for their kids, they have nannies and all that who have a proper organization. So I thought that I could have a startup where I'm like hitting two things at the same time. A, the old people are getting someone to be taken care of, and B, I am giving proper employment to the housemates and all who earlier matlab घर में सिर्फ बर्तन मांजते हैं and all, so I'm increasing their status also. So it could be a platform where I train them with some basic medical skills, how to take care. Like my grandfather had dementia, so how we took a housemaid and how we taught her how a person should deal with dementia. So in that, and also have an association with a hospital so that they could get their medicines and all that. So this is my idea of a startup.
Great. Now you have this idea, and you have thought one step ahead of this. Also, I can see that you've started thinking on those lines that you will need to give these people some medical education and some other kinds of education. So that is how you have to start thinking about this. Now you also have to see that this group of people, whatever money that they are able to make, okay, you have to give them a better opportunity, because see, it can be a bit of strain on them for learning these things. Okay, I do understand that there will be a bit of upward mobility involved, but you also have to see that if let's say they are making let's say 100 rupees a day for 3 hours of work, can you increase that? So that will be a good value proposition for them, because you are upskilling them and making them learn some things, and this is a little more responsible job. See, if you have not washed the utensils properly, deaths might not happen. Okay, but here things can happen. So here there's a little element of criticality also involved. Okay, but you are thinking on the right lines, and then you have to see what is the market share or market size of this. How will you reach to these maids? Now you have to reach out to these maids, and then you have to set up training camps for them. Then you have to assess if they have received that kind of training. You have to also test them properly, how they would react in certain situations. Here there can be situations of panic also. Okay, because if so how do they manage panic? So this umbrella first you have to set up. Then on the other hand, you have to now reach out to people and see what is it that they are ready. See, a lot of people are not taking care of their elderly, and they are not willing to spend also for them. Okay, so what is the amount that you can charge them so that you can get sufficient margins, because you are training these people, you'll spend something on that. You have to pay these people, you have to spend something on that. Other than that, you will have some other costs. After that also you can have you have to manage some kind of margin for you. But yes, you are thinking on the right line, starting off with getting these people and training these people. And so you have to like understand what are the needs, what are the requirements, and then how skilled help you require. So good plan, uh, great idea. But you understand how to. So see, the anyone else who has an idea or a problem to solve? We've had two people, Raghavi and Aritra. Yeah, Aritra.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
So, first of all, this is not my our own plan. We have, matlab, some of our friends have thought about
Great.
it because one event we had that SARC tank over there. We had this one over
Okay.
we had proposed. So we had thought कि these days there is a lot of information on matlab, on Google कि how to do this, how to do that, but they are not organized enough. So just like for me, I came to the first sem and then I had many doubts ki how to do how to start learning a language, this that. So we have thought ki we will make such a website where we will give all information ki how you can regarding anything you can want ki how to do the
Hmm.
from
Okay.
everything, but we will give it at free of cost ki we will provide links to the respective websites and then courses, but we will give it all of at without any cost key, and it will be at an organized way, and it will be not only just regarding coding and all that, but we will also give links for just any sector if they are interested, like
Got it.
photography
Got it.
skills,
Got it. Got
video
it.
editing, this
So
sort of that.
here first you'll need a group of experts who will actually help you
Yeah,
get all of this information.
yes,
Okay, so you first need a group of people. Now, what is the and because you would be targeting a lot of areas, okay, and you
yes,
need a lot of experts for this, you have to find a way to pay to these people. Okay, because if someone is working for you, maybe there are a couple of seniors, a couple of friends, they might do it for free. Okay, but still they wouldn't put in a lot of their time into this. Okay, so here you have to find a way to do this. Then you are see, trying to do something for free is always great and amazing. A lot of times the
no means
people
I
who you are serving. Yes.
uh, we thought that we won't be generating revenue at that very moment, but over the year 1 to 2 year down the lane, we just like matlab,
after
we had
after
thought
some scale, after some
uh,
scale.
we thought that we would later on partner with any other company, and then we would promote their courses through our website. Ki, okay, after learning, you want to learn this, okay, then you can refer to this website and all this. We
And
thought,
there you can get referral commission. That let's say there is a course of 15,000 for something, and you help someone reach there, and they buy
yes,
the course through you.
yes,
Okay, then you can maybe charge a 10% or 15% commission on that platform, because that user or consumer is coming through. That is also fine. Okay, so now here you have to first get a group of experts. Okay, other thing is, don't spread yourself too thin. If you're trying to do everything initially, So you first target a couple of areas, work on that, see how, because if you start targeting, let's say 100 areas or 150 areas, you get 150 experts. You don't know the kind of people you need. Okay, someone might be an expert, someone might not be an expert. So first target 2 or 3 areas. First reach out to the people who you know, like your batchmates, maybe 1 year senior people, maybe your batchmates juniors who are preparing for you JE right now. And this group you can reach out very quickly and very easily. Reach out to these people and ask them what are the areas that you need help with. Now find experts on those areas and help them, like like you know the areas, you have some experts, you get some like information collected for that. Then reach out to these people that, okay, I've collected this kind of information, would you like to access this and use this? This is how you can go ahead. If you try to target too many areas, you're trying to serve too many people. See, eventually we all want to be, every startup wants to be the biggest startup, the biggest company. But that happens eventually. That happens eventually. An Academy is a huge company right now, serving multiple areas. They started off with UPSC preparation. Okay, so you have to understand that from the very beginning, if you try to spread like I'll have you heard about Grofers, which is
Yes,
now
yes, yes,
Blinkit?
yes, yes.
Okay, so it is now Blinkit.
Yes, sir.
So at the time when Grofers came, at that very time, one more company had come, PepperTap. Okay, it was working on a similar model, neck to neck. They had also raised money. Grofers had also raised money. But what happened was, PepperTap expanded very quickly. Okay, see, for metros, it is very logical that people don't have time. Even back in 2014, 2015, people didn't have time. So they wanted that things could be delivered to their houses. But they started expanding into tier 2, tier 3 cities also. So Grofers also did this, PepperTap also did this. Grofers did it on a very, very lean model. So they rented a small space. They did not go and take an office. They hired just a couple of people. PepperTap went full blown. And now you don't know about PepperTap because PepperTap is now dead. PepperTap is now dead. So you
Oh, acha,
had this,
okay.
they had raised a lot of money, but they spread out so fast and so thin that they destroyed everything. Now Grofers is still there. Grofers is going to be a unicorn. They've changed the
Yeah.
name and everything, but they have survived. Survival is more important. So that is why focus on a couple of areas, and if possible, those areas where you have an expertise. So you know how things are working, because everything is like a gear. You have to fit these gears and make a complete machine. Okay, so that is how start off that way, and as you start learning things, understanding things, you can move forward, and then you can expand into other areas, because you know what that time you will know what you are looking for, what kind of people you're looking for. Okay, so I'll just take one more. I'll take Rishita, and then we'll move ahead. Yeah, Rishita.
Good evening, sir. So, me and my team has two ideas basically. So one is on like world targets zero emission till 2050. So one idea is basically on the means waste management and the things we can decrease emission कम करने के लिए क्योंकि everyone thinks that the petrol or diesel vehicles causes that much pollution, but that's not true. So we can go for waste management or seaweed farming or means seaweed farming and alga means they मतलब वो लोग कार्बन को और ज़्यादा एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं जितना ट्रीज नहीं करती हैं और उससे फ़ायदा भी बहुत होता है और ये बहुत कम पॉपुलर है तो इस सेक्टर में सोचना था और दूसरा आइडिया वाज मतलब सोशल हेल्प जो बड़ी कंपनीज होती है बड़ी फैक्ट्रीज होती हैं उन्हें जब उसकी ज़रूरत पड़ती है लेबरर्स की और जो गांव से लोग आए रहते हैं और एज अ माइग्रेंट और वो अनएम्प्लॉयड पड़े रहते हैं तो एक बड़ी कंपनी को उन लेबरर्स तक लिंक क्रिएट करने का ये
Okay, so
दूसरा आइडिया था
blue collar. So the second one is for blue collar workers, जहाँ पे already there are a couple of companies that are working. So my first suggestion would be to first study these companies, how they are working, and what are the problems that are remaining, if that they are still not able to solve. Maybe do an internship or two with this. See, if you're thinking of I'm getting a bit of static from someone. I guess someone has unmuted and there's a bit of static. Yeah. So, if you have an idea and if you see a company working in a similar space, It is not bad that you first reach out to that company, spend some time, and understand how they are doing things and what are the things that they are missing out on. Okay. And maybe directly, indirectly, you can pitch your ideas to that company internally and see if they have maybe tried and failed, or maybe not tried what you are suggesting. Okay. Because starting up and then reaching to a conclusion that, okay, this has already been tried or someone else is doing this, that may make you end up wasting a lot of your own time. So it is wise to first understand how they are doing. So I guess Apna is working on blue collar workers. So maybe you can check. I'm not sure what exactly they are doing. They are targeting that kind of group. Okay. The second thing that you're talking about, see, the second thing that you're talking about is related to pollution, is related to social and all of those things. So there you have to see that once you get into social entrepreneurship, there sometimes the scope of making money is not that much. Hence, the possibility of getting funding is not that much. So you have to see how do you want to do that. If there is some possibility of generating revenue for yourself also. Okay, like if you have to plant something and then you have to grow it and all of those things. So once you get into the social side of things, that is obviously good. See, changing the world and all of those things are fine, but if you are not able to make money, you won't be able to scale it, you won't be able to impact it. I'm not saying we should not think about social problems, but try to think how would you manage the funds. Can you get the funds from somewhere? There are a couple of philanthropies and all of those things. You can maybe first reach out to them, do a small POC at a small scale, and then maybe you can reach out to them. Okay. So now that we've discussed a bit on the ideas and how to actually think of that, getting a little deeper into that, the problems. I guess there are a couple more people, but for the sake of time, we'll just move a bit ahead. So now you got an idea or a problem, and you started studying it. You did some kind of mark. Now is the time to understand if it is required in the market. Okay. Now, this can be the stage where you might feel very sad because you've thought about something, you've maybe even built something, and then you take it to the market and you find that people maybe do not want it. Okay. So understanding that and accepting that is very, very important because, see, having an idea and all is great, but if actually there isn't a big enough population that wants your solution, that wants the product, then you are at a dead end. And understanding that earlier than later is always better. Now, how do you reach out to people and talk to them? See, just surveys are not good enough because see, people do not want to hurt you. If you go and ask, let's say if you go and ask me that hey, I'm creating a new type of dog food or cat food, would you buy it? Maybe just to not make you sad, I would say yes, but I don't even have a cat, I don't have a dog. Okay. So there there are two approaches. You can either go through mock test. I'll share the book with someone from the ESL team. So go through that book and understand how should your questioning be, how should you reach out to people and understand their motivation and understand if it is a big enough problem for them. See, flying taxi, everyone would be like, okay, I might try it once in a while. But if let's say you're reaching somewhere in 1 hour from a normal taxi and it is charging you 200 rupees, and with a flying taxi, you are reaching in 20 or 30 minutes, half the time, but it is charging you 2000 rupees. How many people would make that transition? Maybe some big businessmen for whom 30 minutes, 20 minutes is really important. They might do that. But that kind of shift, to make that kind of shift, you also need that kind of willingness in people. So one way is to talk to people, but that has to be done very smartly. The second thing is MVP, most viable product or solution. So you make a very very simple thing. I am forgetting the name of this person who was saying, I guess Aritra, who was thinking of building a platform where he'll tell people what to do. Now you don't need a platform for that. You reach out to 10, 15 people, identify what they are trying to learn, maybe connect with a couple of mentors or people who are experienced in that area, and then you connect them or maybe get some information from them and give it to these people. If these people are finding that useful, if these people are maybe ready to pay, so ready to pay basically solves a lot of your problems. Maybe you want to keep your platform free, but at the initial level you charge a small fee, 100, 200, 500, 1000, whatever. just to see if I am finding something really useful, I would be ready to pay for that. Getting people to pay is the eventual thing that you are targeting when you're building a business. The earlier you find that yes, people are paying for this, the bigger problems in your life are sorted. Maybe going forward, there will not be that many people who are ready to pay, but at least you can sustain your business. So, getting people to pay, being a salesperson is very, very critical. Do not expect that someone from outside the team will come and sell for you. You have to learn to sell your product. Okay, and it is a very tough thing. It is a very harsh thing. It can be very harsh. People can say all type of rude things to you, but you have to go through this journey. You have to go through this because if you do are not able to make people pay for your product, you will be in a very bad position eventually. Okay, so for that you can build a small MVP can even be a WhatsApp group. It can be maybe a very very basic site on WordPress, and through that you can test. So you got the idea, you understood the problem, you did some research, you reached out to some people, now you built some very basic, very very basic product. So you are all engineers, you all think in AI, ML, coding, very good design, all of these things. Okay, but starting off with a very very simple product can actually give you more answers. And if people are ready to use an initial product which is not very well coded, which is not very well designed, that means that you've caught on to something. If people are ready to use a shitty product to solve a problem, that means they will pay more for a better product. Okay, just makes your case simpler with lesser effort. And if in case you find out that whatever you are trying to sell to people is not selling, then you can maybe do a bit of pivot. You can make some changes, you can reach out to the same users and understand why they are not interested in this particular thing. If this is still a big problem, what are the things that you are missing out? So this is how customer research, market research should be done, not on a random basis that okay, this is the number of people that could pay. How many people are actually paying you? Okay, and this is one of the toughest things that each founder has to do. So do not ever shy away from sales. You have to test it, and you have to test it that way. And I share the mom test, so there can also be a lot of products like e-plane or something like that, for which you definitely need something very well built. You need a lot of capital. There maybe the research can work out, but that has to be done very smartly, and data collected on that. So there you'll need a lot more data and a lot more research. And if it is a simple product, just launch your product and start selling. Very simply. Just reach out to people and say that, okay, this is what I'm selling. If you are ready to pay me 100, 500, and never price it too low. Okay. You should. Now you have to identify how much of a cost you are saving. So pricing the product comes next. Maybe with the MVP, you can price it a little less or even a little more. Doesn't matter. So how do you do this? So let us say that someone is preparing for J. They are spending about 1.5 lakhs, approximately 1 lakh to 1.5 lakhs for the coaching. Okay, so definitely they are ready to pay this much for the content creators. You create a platform which keeps a track of all the tests that they have given. Sound like a good idea? You can at any time access your scores. Let's say you gave test in Fitji, Akash, Byju's, and Academy, 10 different places, and it is keeping a complete track. And you can click and see, okay, out of physics, how many questions I've attempted and how many I've gotten wrong and how many I've gotten correct. So, do you think, Aritra, you would pay for this product? There's a product which keeps a track of all the tests that you have given. Would you pay
Can I
for this?
say?
Yes, yes, Pratik, sure.
I think so. I will not pay because coaching can inbuild this app, means this thing can, within them.
No, no, no. कोचिंग कैन बिल्ड, आई एम सेइंग देयर सडनली एक ऐप आता है, ठीक है, वो बोलता है कि मैं आपका जितना भी ट्रैक है वो मैं रख लूँ। कोचिंग तो कर ही सकता है ये चीज, लेकिन कोचिंग ने मान लो अभी तक ये चीज की नहीं। मैं एक आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू अ सिनेरियो, जस्ट गिविंग यू अ सिनेरियो, आई एम नॉट बिल्डिंग इट। ओके, सो like do you think you can pay some amount for this?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is keeping a track for
Depends sir, if मतलब they could also provide a personal mentorship वैसे कि
अरे भाई
एक
पर्सनल
आदमी
मेंटरशिप पे नहीं जाना, उधर नहीं जाना, ये सिर्फ इतना ही कर रहा है। ठीक है,
we
सिर्फ इतना ही
can
कर रहा है अभी,
मतलब सर
ठीक है।
वो सिर्फ टेस्ट का ट्रैक कर रहा है कि कैसे क्या
हाँ,
हो रहा है।
टेस्ट का ट्रैक कर रहा है, you can at any time access that platform and check, okay, I have given till now 10,000 questions in physics, उसमें से I've gotten these many right or wrong. Just a hypothetical situation, just to help you understand how to price it. So Aritra, how much would you pay for this platform?
सर
ये आपका पूरा डेटा है, उसने क्यूरेट कर दिया।
सर 1 year I would say 1500 2000.
1500 2000 प्रतीक?
I would say, yeah, about that 1000, 2000 in between.
Because sir I had once taken such a subscription, so
Okay,
with that reference I took.
cool. ठीक है, so we can say like 1000 2000. Now this app is also not doing a lot of things, it is just keeping a track of your data. Okay, so whoever has built this app, उसको भी बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत करने की जरूरत है, उसने एक टेक का प्रोडक्ट बना दिया which is just keeping a track कि आपने कहाँ कहाँ कितना टेस्ट दिया, कितने क्वेश्चंस थे, कितने फिजिक्स क्वेश्चन, किस किस चीज के कितने क्वेश्चंस थे, तो उस हिसाब से ये हम लोग को एक प्राइस सही लगी। सो दिस इज समथिंग दैट यू हैव गॉन थ्रू. So you can maybe make a judgment that okay, a test series cost 15,000, so maybe I've taken one or two test series, 10,000 to 15,000, I've spent 20,000 on test series, or and I'm also giving a lot of free tests here and there. So spending 1 to 2,000 on a product that keeps a track of all of this data, मुझे कहीं पे I don't have to go somewhere and note all of this information. So that is something, an expenditure that I'm fine. On the product side also इससे बहुत ज्यादा एफर्ट नहीं पड़ेगा, उसे बस ट्रैक करना है डेटा, तो उसके लिए भी ये एक वायबल प्राइस हो गया. So this is something you've gone through. So you people can come up with a price. So there are things that you have not gone through. You've identified the problem and you identified some solution. Now you are in a fix as to how do you price it. Just asking people is not good enough. What you have to do is you have to identify how much of their effort you are saving, how much of their time you are saving, how much of their money you are saving. If I can maybe like ये जो product जिसकी मैंने बात की, the which is tracking all of your test data, if this can help you improve 10% on your score, all of you are in IIT BHU. Abhi, a lot of you people, if you had gotten 10% more marks, maybe you would have been in a different IIT. ठीक है,
Yes, yes,
ठीक है.
yes,
So
sir, yes.
so there the value of the product increases.
Yes.
Now
Yes, sir.
you might be ready to pay 10,000 for that product. See, product था उसके लिए 1000 2000, तो you people said 1000 to 2000 is fine. Now you could have gotten a better score in JEE and hence a better college or maybe a better branch. Now its value increases.
Yes.
Okay, so this is how marketing and you can move forward with it. Maybe even like if it can guarantee you with 80-90% that whatever you are going to score, I'm going to increase 10 to 20%. Maybe you could even spend 50,000 for that. You're seeing it's the same product. It's the same product that I'm talking about. But its value is increasing because I am making a better proposition to you. Here, I will have to make some changes in the product also, but it's also a marketing game. I understand you better. I understand how much more motivation, how much more a bigger problem that I can solve. If you're an IIT BHU, all your life you're only an IIT from IIT BHU, not IIT Kanpur, not IIT Kharagpur. See, I love my IIT. Okay, I love my IIT, but there are a lot of people who feel कि यार मेरे को IIT बॉम्बे मिल जाता, IIT खड़गपुर मिल जाता, ठीक है? So there you've increased the value for the person. Hence you can charge more value. Okay, and this is a big problem. This is a big problem that people are facing. People are scoring lesser. Maybe someone is feeling that I might not qualify. You help that person qualify. Some person is thinking that I will qualify but with a low rank. Okay, and it is also a FOMO driven market. Now let's come to a different thing. Whose idea was e-waste recycling?
I'm my one, Pratik.
Pratik, yeah. So Pratik, I have, let's say, 10 devices at home. Okay, and a couple of devices will be pretty much useless in let's say 1 year, 3 4 devices. Now, if you are, see, I can either throw this or I can just put it on OLX. It will take a bit of my time and energy. So how would I pitch if I was in your place? I would say that if you have any device, you give that to me. I will settle it on OLX or some other place or something like that, or I will directly pay you whatever the best price you can get. I'll pay you a better price than that. Some used car and other companies are doing that. So you are saying that I am going to save you the hassle of going and selling this to someone and bargaining with them. So we are Indians. I will go to
No,
five shops.
sir,
Please.
that is not my main target. Means I have to
I'm,
take and
I'm,
I have to.
I'm giving an example. I'm giving an example. I'm, I was trying to build a case how you can do some kind of pricing and positioning. Okay,
Okay,
how you can. Okay, so I'm not asking you to do this. I'm just taking examples from what you people have said so that you all can relate. Okay, so just give me a second. Yeah. So I'm saying, so if I have a device, I know that okay, it is maybe out of vogue. I can get a newer device instead of that, and maybe I can sell this for 5 to 10,000. I'll maybe put it up on OLX. I'll put it up on four other places. I'll maybe go to 5 shops, and I'll ask everyone, and someone tells me 4,000, 5,000, 3,000, 6,000, and then I will sell it to the highest bidder. What if you can directly reach out to these people and you can say that you directly sell to me and I will give you a list that what your nearby shop owner is going to give you, what you can get on OLX, what you can get here, there, and what you can get on let's say exchange on Amazon or Flipkart. They offer you exchanges,
yeah.
and I am giving you a better price than this. I'm going to give you a better price, and I can give you a guarantee that if you can get a better price for this, I will pay you that plus 1,000 or 10% extra on that. Now you have set up your distribution. This way you can set up your distribution. Now people, now what is the value proposition for people? My job becomes easy. I just have to give it to you. You will give me the best price, and my problem is sorted. Okay, I'm getting some money for that. Maybe I would have thrown something out. If there was a 1,000, 2,000 rupees I would have gotten for that, I could have thrown that out. I could have given to my maid or someone. Instead of that, I give it to you. I don't have to go through the hassle. I don't have to go through the guilt that I'm polluting the planet. Okay, and you have set up your distribution. Now going further from here, now how do you do the pricing? That you have to work backwards. You are giving this offer to people, but after doing all your calculations, that okay, if there is a OnePlus mobile phone which is 3 years old, if you're going to open it up, okay, and you have to sell individual components, are you going to make a margin on that? Okay, if you are going to collect from someone for sending someone and bringing that thing, is there going to be some expenditure there? Maybe 200 rupees, 300 rupees. You have to spend their petrol and that person's salary. On all of that basis, you can do. Okay. But you are also saving the time for the user. So maybe there, even if the best price that they could have gotten was 6,000, even with 6,500, you can manage that. Okay. Now, another way can be value of time. See, Indians do not value time a lot. This is something that we've heard, but this is not completely true. You all have heard about Zepto and Blinkit. So
No.
Zepto says that
No, sir. No.
I will deliver in 10 minutes. You order something, I will deliver in 10 minutes. Okay. And their company is running like fire. Okay. So right now they are not charging anything. They are doing free deliveries. They are sending you everything in 10 minutes. Okay, and they are charging nothing for that. But with time, once they capture a big enough market, once they make users like start appreciating and using their service more, they can start charging something on the basis of what kind of value that they are adding. You know what kind of charges Zomato puts, what kind of charges maybe. I'm not sure if Big Basket puts any charges. I'm not sure about that. I know about Zomato and Swiggy. So what kind of charges they are charging. Okay, and they're actually also overpricing a lot of items. Like I've seen like the standard restaurants there, the prices are fixed, like McD, Pizza Hut, etc.
Yes.
Their prices are
Yes,
fixed.
sir.
But I've seen on multiple occasions that local restaurants, I've seen that the prices on Zomato were like 200, and in that restaurant in their menu card it was 170 or 160.
Yes, sir.
That,
It was
Yes.
that was
like
marked up by 10-20%.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
So pricing is a little difficult, but you can either identify how much time and value you are saving, what is the value, and sometimes you will be in a position where it will be very difficult to set up the pricing. Okay. So there you can work with a ballpark figure, fix a ballpark figure. Like let's say you're confused that it can be priced anywhere between 4,000 to 8,000. Okay. So there what you can do is you can identify groups of users and then you can start pitching to them. You identify 50 to 100 users who can maybe take up your product. Then you pitch to 100 people at 4,000. You pitch to 100 people at 5,000. You pitch to 100 people at 6,000. And that way you can also test that. So pricing is also very important. You have to keep in mind that whatever the cost you are incurring, B, you have to also see that you should be able to make some margins. C, you have to also see that you have to maybe price it a little lesser initially so that more people take that up, they become habituated to that. And if you're doing that, if you're running in loss, how are you going to finance yourself and how long can you do that? Okay, so all of these considerations have to be taken care of. As long as you are in college and you are maybe making a tech product website for which you are charging and you're not incurring too much of cost because the server cost, Amazon gives you free credits and a lot of other places give you free credit for a lot of things under Startup India and all. So you can survive for some time. Okay, so be also wary of wherever you can get some free credits because that is going to help. So pricing is a little vague thing, but you can arrive on that. So making something basic, trying to sell it, and pricing are important things. If you mess this up, then you are in a big problem. Okay, and these are things which you have to consider about. So when we started off just talking about startup, changing the world, and being my own boss and making a lot of money, but now it's starting to get a little technical. So how many people are feeling a little scared or a little intimidated? Tell me that. Like we are almost halfway through the session.
No, sir, it's interesting.
Yes, sir. Interesting to know more things and
Yes, sir.
do
Because
something.
we were never exposed to all this information before, so it is quite
Yeah.
interesting.
This
And
is
sir,
new to us,
also,
but
Thank you
sir,
for the
also I have a
motivation, bro.
doubt.
Yeah, please. Please go ahead.
Sir, like in any domain we think of business, there are already some companies doing well. So, from customers' point of view, why someone will like means why someone will use our company? Means that is
So
I always think of.
here, two things will work. Okay,
Hmm.
you have to build a differentiation, and differentiation can be in terms of product as well as positioning. So another book that you people have to read is positioning. So positioning you have to make mental ladders. Okay, Coca-Cola and Pepsi everyone knows.
Yes.
Red Bull,
Hmm.
uh,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Red Bull doesn't make what Coca-Cola and
uh,
Pepsi make, and Coca-Cola and Pepsi haven't been able to beat Red Bull.
Hmm.
yes,
They have made a differentiation. They've made a differentiation with the drink, with the product, as well as the marketing. They have sponsored all kind of sports. So energy drink and connected with F1, connected with football. Maybe very soon they'll buy an IPL team also. Okay. So on both fronts, they are working on differentiating themselves. Okay. So F1, see, F1 is like the most exciting thing.
Yes.
Cars are running at 300. All of you are engineers. You love F1 cars, I know.
yes,
Yes.
Cars are running at 300 kilometers. One wrong turn and you'll literally die. Car will set up in fire and you'll die. People make a lot of money and like amazing places, amazing racetracks. And there is a Red Bull team which wins there. So there they are differentiating on marketing also. And hence, Coca-Cola has not been able to beat them. They did not try to beat Coca-Cola. Like, have you heard about an energy drink from Coca-Cola? Energy drink is a big enough market. You have to
mm,
differentiate yourself. Another very good example I'll give you, Grofers. Grofers had to change their name to Blinkit because Zepto came in. So when I was interning in Grofers in 2015, they were trying 90-minute deliveries. Okay, but their
Hmm.
margins were coming really bad. So what they did was they shifted to they left that model. In 2016, their CEO said that fast deliveries cannot work. The margins are very bad because see, you're not delivering food. In food, the margins are higher. Like you have chicken and all of these things, and you bring all the raw materials, it is going to cost you 200. But the biryani that you are going to sell is going to sell for 500. So there's a huge margin. But when you're
Yes.
selling toothpaste, when you're selling shampoo, there is hardly any margin. So there,
Yes.
delivery becomes, and fast delivery becomes a little bit of an issue. You won't have margins. So they said that okay, fast deliveries cannot work. We will work on clubbing model. So basically, they will wait till they have like let's say 10, 15 orders from your area, and then they will go and deliver that. Then last year, two college kids come and they say we will launch Zepto and we will deliver everything in 10 minutes. Now they started doing so well. Now they created a very different area in the market. Big Basket is delivering to people in 2-3 days. Grofers initially was trying to do in 90 minutes, and then it went to this model where we will do a bit of delayed delivery, maybe the same day, but a little delayed once we have a couple of orders from your area. Zepto people went crazy. Now it is the same market. From above, if you see, it is the same market. They are also delivering groceries, but they've created a different segment within the market. And by creating a different segment, they forced a very big company to change its name. What was the need to change from Grofers to Blinkit? Because now they were second in command to Big Basket there, where they were doing delayed deliveries. Now Zepto has created a new space. So if you want a delayed delivery, your first choice is Big Basket. If you want a quick delivery, your first choice is Zepto.
Yes.
If you want a
Yeah, yeah,
delayed
yeah.
delivery, second choice was Grofers. Now, if you
Mm.
want a quick delivery, your second choice is Grofers. So Grofers is still hanging on the second spot. So this is how
Yes.
you can beat an existing competitor. There were big coachings, Allen and everyone. An
Mm.
academy came and made its space. If
Yes.
you're going to Allen, you don't have an access to the best teachers. You have to perform well in tests, then you have access to the best teachers. An
Yes.
academy say you pay me and you access any teacher.
But
Mm.
still,
They have no
sir, I would
yes.
prefer Ellen more than an academy because
See,
I was
yes,
from
yes,
Ellen and I also had an academy subscription.
I
yes,
studied
yes.
from
So
an academy.
see, eventually you did pay something to an academy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
paid to an academy. Their
Yes.
problem is solved. They are making money. They are
Yeah,
making money. Na?
but I won't recommend any of my
See,
juniors right now.
that is there, but people are still buying. Last year their revenue was
So
400
from my
crores.
my experience, I will recommend an academy. It depends
Because
from
you
person to
Yeah.
person. Yes.
It depends on person.
plus see, it's a huge market. There are more than a couple of crore people preparing for exams.
Yes.
And even if they are getting 20,000 from a couple of lakh people, उनका बन गया ना revenue.
Hmm.
उनको see,
Yes.
उनका तो sorted है ना. Last year they made 400 crores in revenue. This year maybe they are on track to make 2,000 crores in revenue.
And now
Last
to
year they
the
spent 2,000
prices
crores.
also are hiked up much this year.
Maybe to 2,500 crores, maybe 3,000 crores. Alan is also now going to raise money. Okay, Alan is also planning to become a startup. I don't know what they're trying to do. Okay, so differentiation on the product. See, if you are trying to just copy someone, then you are going to have an issue. If you see that there is some problem that is not being solved, you have to identify that. That is why I talked about problem and not idea. If you have an
Yes.
idea of food delivery, everyone is doing food delivery. So many platforms are doing. Every platform has been killed or acquired by Zomato and Swiggy. What is that different you can do? Can you make food delivery faster? That is going to be very difficult because food takes some time to cook. Ready-made food, like ready to cook food, has a bit of issue. Else
Mm.
people would be
It's
like
not
preferring that.
fresh. Okay.
So you have to find what is that one thing that is not being solved, and how can you solve that, and how can you make a proposition for the user. And if there is just one player in the market, then you can become the second player.
Mm.
So here positioning comes both in the product wise and marketing. And if you can combine both, then you are in a win-win situation. So Zepto combined both. They are delivering faster and they worked on their marketing also. And they forced one of the biggest players to change their names. What what more can you do? A company that has been in existence for 7-8 years, you've made them change their name. You are
Yes.
successful. Now they are running behind you. You are not running behind them. So this is how you can change the market dynamics. Okay, but yeah, for that you need a bit of industry insight and understanding all of those things. I gave you the example of Coca-Cola also. Like Pepsi is second to Coca-Cola.
Mm.
They're also pretty big, but they're second. But there is no space for the third. So hence Red Bull, Gatorade made a different strategy for them. Gatorade, if you see, they also like get into all of these power pack things, that motorcycle racing and all of those things. Red Bull also gets into that. So they're making a connection. Coca-Cola also tries to do that with the Salman Khan and Aaj Kuch Tufani Karte and all of those things.
Yes.
But their module is different. Football is energetic and all of these things, and there you go and you drink energy drinks. So that kind of connection they are making. Okay. So here you have to work on positioning, both in terms of product and in terms of marketing. You can work on one thing also, but if you are able to work on both, awesome, amazing for you. So this book by positioning by Al Rees. So first book that I told was Mom Test. Second is Al Rees. Tanaya, just remind me about these books and I'll send these books over to you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Ayush, you were saying something?
Sir, like advertisement also plays an important role, no? In so, sir, for a new startup, how we can invest for advertisement? Like we need some money also for advertisement. No.
No, 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 no. See, here you have to understand distribution. Okay. It's not just about running ads. Okay. You can also grow it through social media, through Instagram, through reaching out to people. You can make some kind of content. You can do content marketing. Let's say if we are talking, like I was talking about that idea where you could like there is a platform that tracks all your tests and that helps you score better. You can talk about that over Instagram, and you can like make some videos on YouTube and all, and you can reach out to all your friends and their juniors, ask them to circulate there. So these kind of growth hacks and strategies you can use. You can reach out to groups on Facebook and all, or Telegram, where there are like thousands of people preparing for IIT and other exams, and you can tell them, okay, I have launched this product, this is free. So it does
Hmm.
not have to be advertisement. You have to find ways to reach out to your users. You have to find ways, hacks to reach out to your users. Okay,
Yes.
advertisement comes at a much later stage. So you distribution, you first identify where is your user, how can you reach them, or how are you reaching them, and what are you telling them. So this is the chain, and once you start working on it, you can find ways which where you can do without cost. The lesser
Hmm.
cost you spend initially, the more margin you have later. The more you spend initially, see,
Yes.
the more things you try to do with money, it will keep on
Hmm.
getting costly.
Yes, sir.
And if you can do something without money, if you can create a system where it is growing automatically without putting in money, nothing can be better than this. But yeah,
Yes.
sometimes some kind of expenditure will be required, maybe for designing and other things. There you can maybe talk with some of your seniors and you can learn design, and there are so many amazing tools available like Canva and other things.
Hmm.
So before you think of spending money anywhere, first try to see how you can do it in a cost effective or without spending any money. Okay, Sahil had some questions.
Yes, sir. Sir, you have given an example of Zepto. So, sir, regarding
Yes.
that, consider companies like Grofers or Swiggy and Instamart copying their system, and they are having a much larger customer acquisition. So, how will Zepto fight with them in the coming future? In some time, it will get acquired by companies like Swiggy, Instamart, or Blinkit or Big Baskets in the coming future.
Okay. Okay. See, even if it gets acquired, for the founders, it's a good outcome. They made a company, they raised some money, and
Yes, sir.
they got some money in return. The other thing is that we know, it has been established in our mind that Zepto does 10-minute delivery. Others are also doing that. So for us, Zepto has made its first in the market image already. So you can make the system, but beating that first to the market image. If I talk, if if anyone says today about 10-minute delivery, whoever knows about it will first talk about Zepto. So you have to now Swiggy Instamart has to beat that. The other problem is Swiggy Instamart is line extension. So line extension means you have a brand and then you've just extended that. When you hear about Swiggy, you think about food delivery. They could have named Instamart something else. They've done line extension. So with Swiggy, you remember food delivery. With Grofers, you remember grocery delivery. With Zepto, you remember 10-minute grocery delivery. So there, Swiggy has itself ruined its system. So line extension is also a little bit dangerous. Like Ola is doing, Ola Electric. Ola, if you think about Ola, what do you think? I'll get a cab. Now they are getting into Ola Electric. Now this can still be successful because India is a little different market where we do trust. We have trust on a couple of brands. We use Tata Salt also. We use Tata Airlines also. We use Tata's 10 different things. But still, there will be a bit of challenge because there is one particular company which has made its image. So it is actually a challenge. Like, why did Grofers have to change its name? Because Grofers knew that this kind of challenge would be difficult for them. So hence they made it Blinkit. Now Blinkit seems fast, so they're trying with that, but Zepto has already made a name for itself. So it's a two-way struggle. Zepto has the disadvantage of being the first in the market, but they have to set up distribution quickly. These people have distribution, now they have to fight the first to the market image. Oh, it will depend who will come out winner or who will get acquired. But eventually, good fight, good for the customers, and most probably a good exit for the founders also. Okay. So yes, we started talking about. Uh, okay. Any more questions right now? Because now in the last half an hour, I'll get into funding.
I want
And
to ask
funding is
a
yes, yes,
simple
please.
question. How to aggressively expand the business? Means you said that in at that example, Grofers and another company, but aggressive expansion is also a fact. Means is it beneficial for a business?
See, if you are
Uh,
doing a startup and you want to scale, you will have to get into aggressive expansion. But you can understand that only once you've reached that kind of place. Once you've reached like 50,000, 1 lakh users, then expanding from that 1 lakh to 20, 30 lakhs, and it will take a lot of money. And at that time, you will also have the help of experts. So once the startup reaches that kind of place, you also hire some people who have earlier done that in some kind of capacity, been in executive roles in different things. That is why if you see, you'll see a lot of high level like VP, AVP rank people in startups after they've received a series A or something. They come into the startup and they help with that kind of thing. So that thing they've done in places like HUL or maybe Tata or some other place, and they get those kind of experts. That is generally the case if the founders themselves are not experienced. If the founders are experienced, then also they get some of these people, but they also get involved. But yeah, that takes generally a lot of money. Though if your product goes viral and you don't have any additional cost, like let's say an academy, when it started going viral, so you don't need any more expenses. You just expand. You just tech product. That's the beauty of tech products. You can just keep expanding and there's no stopping you, though some strategies will have to come in place.
Sir, in this I have heard that Chinese company means they rapidly expand the scale of the production to a very high extent so that the price get reduced a lot.
See,
So what do
with
they do?
China, they have a lot of factories already set up. They have a lot of skilled labor already there. Okay, so that is an infrastructure thing. If you are talking about production and all of these things, that is an infrastructure issue. If you have to produce something, then you have to set up factories. Now China has a lot of factories. They can switch from manufacturing one thing to another thing, or they can focus on getting more components or building more components. They have skilled population also. So if we are getting into manufacturing, there our country will face difficulty. But other things, expanding your footprint to, like, let's say you are a food delivery app and you do something different, or just like Zepto. So I've been in Bangalore for about 3 months now, and I've been moving around on a couple of streets. I've suddenly seen Zepto's office come up. So they opened up an office, hired some people, and all those things. So that's a different thing. But production and manufacturing is a different ballgame. There, you India will get stuck, and there we don't want to get into. Okay, so that is a different game altogether. Cool. So now let's come to funding.
सर
Okay.
सर एक
Yes.
क्वेश्चन बस
हाँ.
सर एक डाउट था कि सपोज एक फील्ड में एक्सप्लोर करना चाह रहा हूँ मैं और एक आइडिया है तो कंपनी वेल एस्टेब्लिश नहीं है पर एक स्टार्टअप है बिल्कुल सिमिलर विजन के साथ or that's already received funding from past मतलब
ओम, तुम्हारी
इसके से
आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है, तो मुझे क्लियरली सुनाई नहीं दे रहा।
पर नॉट पॉपुलर और फंड हाँ हाँ
ओम, तुम्हारी
हेलो
आवाज
हेलो
बहुत ब्रेक।
आई एम ऑडिबल सर आवाज आ रही है बिल्कुल भी नहीं आ
अब
रही
अभी थोड़ी ठीक है, अभी थोड़ी ठीक है।
और तो सर मेरे डाउट था कि एक आइडिया है मेरे
फिर
पास
ब्रेक हो
तो
रही है।
मैंने सर
ओम, हम लोग एक काम करते हैं, आई विल शेयर माय कांटेक्ट विद यू। ओके, यू कॉल मी आफ्टर दिस, क्योंकि भी वॉइस ब्रेक हो रही है।
अच्छा सर सर
ठीक है,
कॉन्टैक्ट कैसे मतलब
वो मैं तनया, यू हैव माय कांटेक्ट, you
Yes,
can
sir.
share with Om.
Sure, sir. We'll share it. You can also put it in the chat box, so maybe we can take it after the session. The question.
Ha. Om, you can also put it in the chat box. Okay, now let's come to funding.
Sir,
Okay,
one more question.
so
Sir,
yes,
can you
yes.
list some startup ideas which are in demand right now?
See, there is nothing like demand. Okay, see VCs sometimes. I'll explain you about the VCs, but never go on this that if there is something in demand. Even if there is demand, then they are looking for even better founders who are working on those ideas or who have experience with those ideas. So actually, it becomes more tough if something is in vogue to raise money for that. It is always tough to raise money, but if the let's say e-plane becomes a very like everyone is funding e-plane companies, everyone is making e-plane companies, so you would want to back someone who has more experience with that, maybe has worked in aeronautical space or something like that. Okay, so never go on that trend, never move on that trend that okay, this is working today. Go on your gut feeling, what you actually want to do, what you actually want to change in the world. Go on that, don't go on this that okay, this is working today and I'll go with this. You won't raise funds if you're thinking like that, unless you have an expertise in that, so maybe that
Sir,
might work.
like some countries are very well developed. I mean, they already have very good startups there. So if we copy their ideas and implement it here in India, so do you think it will work?
It works in a lot of cases, like the Thrashio model. So what Thrash.io did is that there are a lot of small brands. Like you all come from different cities, you would know some halwai or some food corner who has like 2 or 3 shops in your city. Now they don't have the know-how to scale their company. But what the Thrash.io people did in US was that they acquired these small brands and they helped them scale. So last year, Mensa Brands, Global Bees, like these many startups came up who are going to acquire these small brands and then they are going to help them scale. So that worked here. Okay. So you have to, but you have to understand that this is a different market, that is a different market. So you'll have to find some other way. Some changes will have to be made, and you'll have to have some kind of experience in that. Like Sachin and Benny worked with Amazon, and then they started this Flipkart here. Okay, so those things can work, but you have to understand this market. You have to understand like Ola is a copy of Uber.
Uber.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
then okay, so there are going to be a lot of these things, but you have to fit it into the Indian market. You cannot just do a blatant copy and expect that it will scale. The market is different, people are different, pay capacity is different, production capacity is different, skill level is different. So a lot of things change. You have to factor in, like we had so many variables in the equations now. So a lot of variables will change. You have to identify that. If you are able to successfully identify that, nothing better than that. You already seen the success of that model in some other country or some other place. You are able to replicate it to India. Amazing.
Sir, I have an
हाँ,
startup. Sir,
मतलब
I am
बना लिए हो?
audible. नहीं sir.
हाँ
Sir, my
हाँ हाँ.
startup is provide service for those who need fuel in the middle of the highway, or their car is damaged, or their car is punctured. For help us to pay for through the my app.
इस पे अभी अभी कोई काम नहीं कर रहा क्या? इस पे इसका कुछ शायद मैंने सिमिलर सुना है. इस पे थोड़ा एक बार रिसर्च करो. मैंने कुछ ऐसा सुना. आई एम नॉट श्योर एग्जैक्टली ऐसा था, बट आई हर्ड समथिंग। तो इस पे एक बार एक रिसर्च करो। मैं मतलब वी हैव आई गेस अ लिटिल लेस टाइम। आई विल टेक अप अनदर सेशन with you all, and where I will discuss your particular ideas in detail, but I wanted to just finish off with the funding part, and I think it will take more than 15 minutes. So I'll
Sir,
connect with you. हाँ,
if I
बोलो।
can, sir,
Uh,
how do you create a demand like Zuckerberg did? Like Facebook had no need in the first place, but Zuckerberg came into India. He's like, you need it, and then now all of a sudden everyone's addicted to Facebook, and then Insta came in, and then WhatsApp. So how do you do that? How do you create demands?
you don't create demand. You identify that there is something that people would, and see, that is to a large extent that was a bet that he took. There would be a lot of companies that he has acquired that are not working well for him. Like what we remember are the successes. Do you remember Amazon phone? You don't remember Amazon phone because it was a
Yes,
failure.
sir. Yes, sir. I remember. Its
But
price
the
also was too high. Like,
but it failed. So
yes.
a lot of these things, a lot of these successes are luck based. So abhi pehle, let's just finish off with the funding part, okay? Because that was one of the things for which a lot of people were interested. Cool. So any idea as to why do investors invest in startups? Any idea?
So,
Why do they
so
invest?
they invest because they think it is a profitable thing, or they invest by looking at a founder. Means, is that person a talented or um, a productive one?
Okay. I was thinking I'll take a couple of points from you people, but we have a little less time. So see, investors, the VCs that we know, are investing other people's money. So they first go to people who have a lot of money, or to organizations that have a lot of money to invest. They are like fund managers. So there are different kinds of fund managers. Someone who puts money in stocks, someone who maybe puts money in crypto, someone who puts money in real estate. Then there is someone who puts money in startups. So this is how there are like ultra rich people who divide their funds. They give to these people. These people go and promise to these people that I will return 3 to 5x of your money in 5 to 7 years. Now what they do is that, let's say they have 100 million fund. So they are, and they know that a lot of startups are going to fail. So now they will put in money into those startups which have a big enough market and which can return almost their entire fund or a couple of multiples of their own fund. So they are looking that your company will in 5 to 7 years be doing a revenue of 100 to 150 million. That is their target. Either that kind of revenue or that kind of user base. You will have a 100 million user base, or you will have a 100 to 150 million revenue dollars. So that is like 1000 crores in revenue, or 100 million revenue कितना हो गया? 1 million 100 crore. So 100 million is 1 million 10 lakh. My math has become weak. I guess 10 crores.
Yes, yes, 10
100,
crores.
yeah. So 10 crore people on your platform, or 1000 crore revenue. If you can do that.
So 100 billion you are asking.
नहीं नहीं
100
100
billion,
मिलियन 100 मिलियन
10,
अरे हो गया मैथ
Limits.
मैथ हो गया सब लोग यहाँ मैथ आती ठीक है तो 10 करोड़ 10 करोड़ people on your platform or 1000 crore revenue. This is what they're looking for. Why? Because a multiple of 10 on this gives them gives your company a valuation of 1 billion. They are trying to hold 10 to 15% equity in your company. If they sell that 10-15%, they will get 100 million. So that is the math they are doing. Hence, I was talking about market size and size of problem. If the problem is not big enough, if the market is not big enough, they are not interested. Maybe let's say Sahil is making a much better startup than Pratik, but Pratik has a bigger market size. They will go to Pratik. Okay, because their eventual goal, it is not their money that they are investing. There are very few people like angels and all who invest their money. So that is the eventual target. How do they divide that 100 million that they have raised? That is done in phases. They will set out about 40 to 30 to 40% to invest in companies. So 30 million they take out, the remaining 70 million is there. They will find out, let's say 40, 50, 60, 70 companies. In each company, they will put 500K, 500K each. Out of these 40, 50 companies, 10, 15 companies will survive and get to the next round. Or maybe 20 companies survive. Then they will put some additional money. Why are they putting additional money? Because initial round, they took 10%. Next round, there will be a dilution. That every round the founders dilute. So whoever is now part of the company, in next round they will dilute. Now these people want to defend their stake. So they had 10%, next round 20% is getting diluted. Their 10% can become 8%. So they will put in a little more money to make it remain at 10%. Then next round again, till they have capacity. So first round, let's say they put in 40, 50 companies. Next round, 25 survived. Next round, 10 survived. So like this, they will keep putting money till they have capacity. Let's say they are able to put till 3 to 4 rounds. Once they've done that, then they leave the company that, okay, now I don't have enough capacity. Now even 1% of the company is costing 20, 30 million. That is like one third, one fifth of my fund size. And then over after 2, 3 rounds, then they will dilute a bit of their holding in the company. So that is their purpose. That is the purpose of the early stage investors. The late stage investors like SoftBank, Tiger Global, they are there and they will go for IPO. And they might even hold stakes in your company after IPO. So if you are approaching an angel investor, if you are approaching an early stage investor, if you are not able to demonstrate that this is a big enough problem, now there should be a revenue potential of at least a couple of billion. Then only you can do 100 million. You can't say that there is a revenue potential of 200 million, and out of that I will do 100 or 150 million. Because as soon as you start scaling, a lot of copycats will come. They will start eating into your revenue. A couple of companies which are close to your market, they will start eating up into your revenue. So you have to demonstrate that it is a couple of billion, or maybe it is growing. Maybe it is 200 million, 300 million today, but it is going to grow. Let's say luxury items was not that big of a deal. Luxury cars was not that big a deal, but it is going to grow. So that is a market, that is a growing market. Okay. So this is the one most critical thing. After this comes how good is the team, how good is the execution, how good is the idea, how well they have performed. All of these things come. But if there is any doubt on the market size, 99% times the deal will not fly. Until unless the founder is so awesome that people know that he's going to create a market. Creating a market is another different challenge. Zepto people came and they said that we will do 10-minute deliveries. There is a market. We are not maybe sure that how big is the 10-minute delivery market, but people would love this. People are loving this. They have raised more than 100 million in 1 year, and most
But
probably this
sir,
year they will a unicorn. Yes.
sir, is it not important that every time they are able to achieve the 10-minute target, maybe because of traffic or something, they may get late?
See, that is happening, but earlier we were getting things in half an hour.
Hmm.
They are still
Yes.
like, I've ordered from Zepto more than 60 times, and mostly it has been cigarette, and almost, I guess maybe just 1 or 2 times it has been more than 10 minutes. I've ordered more than 50, 60 times. So मेरे लिए तो अच्छा है ना. मैं तो I've given their example multiple times. There were more than at one time there were more than 160 people here. 160. I've told to 160 people, no, this is a no cost marketing thing.
Yes.
They might not have charged anything from me, but I've told 160 people. Now, how many people will these 160 people tell about Zepto? This is a flywheel. I've told 160 people. Now 160 people will tell, even if they tell to 2 other people, 300 more people. Whatever losses they made from me, they've recovered in one go.
Yes.
So yeah, see, obviously, whatever you are promising, there are going to be challenges sometimes. Even so, that is another thing. There can be situations where, like when on New Year, there were like I am not sure how many orders Zomato and Swiggy processed, but huge quantities were there. Okay, and even the UPI failed. The UPI system also failed. So those things are also going to happen. Then you identify those problems and you try to fix it. You can't be 100% on point. But even
Yes.
if you are 80 to 85% on point, यार मेरे को 10 मिनट में मिल रहा है, मुझे ब्रश करना है, मुझे टूथपेस्ट 10 मिनट में मिल गया, मैं कितनी देर से वेट कर रहा हूँ.
Yes.
माय प्रॉब्लम इज सॉर्टेड ना. मेरे को अगर 10 मिनट में कोई चीज चाहिए और अच्छा लगता है ना, मैंने अभी सोचा मैं बेड पे हूँ, मैंने भी, लेट्स से दिस कॉल इज गोइंग टू एंड इन 10 मिनट्स, मेरा मन कर रहा है कि मुझे भी रियल का जूस पीना है, मैंने अभी ऑर्डर कर दिया, जब तक ये कॉल खत्म होगी तब तक रियल का जूस आ जाएगा, अच्छा है ना यार।
Yes.
अब मैं आधा घंटा वेट करूँ, उससे बढ़िया मैं जाके नहीं ले आऊँ। मुझे आलसी बना दिया उन्होंने। कल को 25 रुपये मांगेंगे रियल का 100 रुपये का जूस देने के लिए, हो सकता है मैं दे ही दूँ। हाँ यार चिल है, क्या है, मैं कमा रहा हूँ यार पैसे, में कर दूँ फिर से। दैट इज हाउ यू मेक पीपल एडिक्टेड। ओके
सर,
यस।
सर पर अगर वो 10 मिनट में हमें डिलीवर नहीं कर पाते हैं सर, सर मतलब मान लीजिए ऐसा 2-3 बार हो गया है, तो फिर उनकी मार्केट इमेज डाउन भी हो सकती है। मतलब वो इंसान अब जाके फिर और 2-3 लोग को मतलब उनकी मार्केट इमेज डाउन कर सकता है
वो कर
कि
सकता
ऐसा
है,
नहीं है।
लेकिन क्या कोई और है, लेट्स से 10 मिनट का 12 मिनट हो गया, 15 मिनट हो गया, बट अगर स्विगी, इंस्टामार्ट और ग्रोफर्स मतलब ब्लिंकिट से तो मैंने ऑर्डर किया ही नहीं, अगर वो अभी भी आधे घंटे में दे रहा है तो दिस इज स्टिल बेटर ना। और तुम 10 और लोगों को बताओगे तब भी अगर मान लो किसी ने ये रिटर्न में क्वेश्चन कर कि इंस्टामार्ट कितने में करता है आधा घंटा, चलो ठीक है 3-4 मिनट लेट हुए ना, तो वो डिपेंड करता है। देखो मतलब व्हेन यू आर प्लेइंग, अब देखो इतना बड़ा मार्केट, इतना बड़ा मार्केट है, लाइक करोड़ों लोग हैं, तो थोड़े बहुत मिशैप्स चलते हैं, अब फिर वो उनको आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, देखेंगे यार कहाँ पे गलती हो रही है, कहाँ पे कोई दिक्कत हो रही है। मे बी आपका घर ऐसी जगह पे जो थोड़ा इनएक्सेसिबल है, तो आपके थोड़ा घर के और पास वो लोग आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, तो ऑब्वियसली दैट इज ऑब्वियसली इट वुड बी गेटिंग फ्लैग देयर कि आउट ऑफ वट एवर नंबर ऑफ डिलीवरीज यू डन टुडे, व्हाट इज द परसेंटेज दैट वाज नॉट इन 10 मिनट्स, ठीक है, एंड देन दे विल वर्क ऑन दैट। सो यू कीप वर्किंग ना, बहुत नया स्टार्टअप है, डोंट बी सो हार्श ऑन देम, हार्डली अ ईयर ओल्ड, okay, don't be so harsh on them. And huge, big enough market, and I've seen like every time I've ordered from Swiggy, Instamart, it is 2 times the time. I only order from Swiggy, Instamart when I'm looking for something and it is not on Zepto, only and only in that case I'm ordering from them. If I am like this is my number one app, till now I was not ordering things like this, like it's just about 5-10 minutes from my house. I'm in Bangalore, I have everything, but I've started ordering from them. So they've created a customer out of nowhere. I was not ordering, I've ordered 50-60 times in the last 3 months. You can make money off me. So they've actually created a market also. So they have already a bunch of people who were going to Grofers and Big Basket, and now they've created a new scenario also. Okay, so market sizing, now how to do the market sizing and all of those things, that is a discussion for another day. Okay, that projections and all of these things you people can study, and you can also reach out to me. So 2 books I have, yeah, very very good point by Mandeep, that Maggie isn't cooked in 2 minutes, but it is advertised to this. Okay, that it is done in 2 minutes. It is a quick thing. Okay, so 2 books I suggested you, Mom Test, and one more is Positioning. Okay, I have a couple of other suggestions also. I'll share the list
So
with
can you
Harshit.
write the book name in the chat box?
I am going to send the PDFs to Tanaya. Okay, so she can share with you all. And do let me know if there were some things that we could have improved in this session, some things that I might have missed. Okay, and if you people have any kind of things that you want to talk to me about, you can reach out to me. My LinkedIn is almost full. I have 29,900 connections, so I'm trying to clear up a bit. So, or like you all can reach out to me on Instagram. That is one place which is free from my side. Okay, Facebook also I have about 4,900 friends. LinkedIn is also full. If you have anything, I'm not sharing my WhatsApp number because there are already 400 pending messages, and most probably I'm not going to be able to respond to you. So you can reach out to me on Instagram if you have any kind of questions. Nishant Examarly is my ID, and anything else you can also tell Tanaya or Harshit. And do let me know, Tanaya, do let me know how was the session, how was the review of people, and if there was anything that
Sure.
I could change and do better. Okay, guys, so it was really amazing. 1.5 hours pretty much flew by. Yeah, Pranav.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes, sir. I have a sir. Can we have our co-founder like 7 or 8 years elder than us?
हाँ हाँ यार,
Not a
you
student,
can have your
not
co-founder elder than you can have your co-founder younger than you. See, there is nothing restricting from this. You can have your friend, you can have your brother, you can have your sister. People have husband, wife. So as long as there is a good chemistry, okay, that is very very critical. The understanding has to be very very proper, and the chemistry should be very very proper. The age doesn't matter, because while building a company there are going to be very very tough situations, and you are most probably going to blame each other, you are going to fight with each other, a lot of things are going to happen. Like building a company takes everything out of you. So if you don't have a very good relationship with your co-founder, if you're not completely, if you cannot be very very honest with your co-founder, like people say that co-founder is like, having a co-founder is like being in a marriage. Running a marriage is very difficult, so is running a startup with someone. So you are going to see very tough times. So having a good understanding is very important. Age doesn't matter. Okay. So I guess with,
Sir, can I
yeah,
ask something or it is
yeah, sure,
over?
sure, sure, sure. We
Sir,
have
I had
2.5 minutes.
I have a just simple question, like why $1 is equal to 75 rupees? Why not equal? What is the factor behind it?
भाई ये इकोनॉमिक्स का क्वेश्चन है. ये डिमांड सप्लाई की बात है, और ये मतलब दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स. ओके, इफ यू लाइक, थोड़ा इसमें वेगनेस भी है, बट एंड आई एम नॉट एन इकोनॉमिक्स एक्सपर्ट. आई कैन टेल यू हाउ टू वैल्यू कंपनीज, कि किस कंपनी की वैल्यू 2 बिलियन क्यों है, 5 बिलियन क्यों है, पैसा नहीं कमा रहे तब भी क्यों वैल्यू है. दैट डिस्कशन आई कैन हैव विद यू. बट ये जो डॉलर की वैल्यू है, जो अप डाउन होती रहती है, उसका मुझे उतने अच्छे से आइडिया नहीं, तो आई वोंट मिसगाइड यू विद रॉन्ग इन्फॉर्मेशन हियर.
Okay, sir.
ओके.
sir,
प्रणव, साहिल, प्रतीक, हाँ, कौन
Sir,
बोल रहा था?
sir, I want
sir,
to
we are
ask,
from
एक मिनट,
मतलब
प्रतीक पहले बोल लो.
सब जो मतलब एक रिसर्च करने के लिए मार्केट में क्या डिमांड, मतलब जो हम एक सॉल्यूशन लाए हैं या आइडिया लाए हैं, वो रियली मार्केट का डिमांड है या नहीं. तो उसके लिए मतलब ऐसे तो मतलब वी हैव टू गो इन स्ट्रीट्स, इज इट राइट?
और क्या, मतलब तुम सड़क पे चप्पल में नहीं घूम रहे हो, तो किस बात के स्टार्टअप फाउंडर हुई है?
हाँ.
वो $1 बिलियन बनने के पहले जो ऑन ग्राउंड मेहनत करनी है, वो किए बिना $1 बिलियन तक नहीं पहुंचने वाले. ठीक है, वो सड़क पे वो सेल्समैन बनना पड़ेगा. वन डे और दी अदर यू हैव टू बिकम अ सेल्समैन. इफ फाउंडर डजंट बिकम अ सेल्समैन ना, तो यू आर नॉट, वेरी वेरी हार्ड टू रीच दैट काइंड ऑफ स्टेज.
सर मतलब वो
टिंडर
मैं
कैसे स्टार्ट हुआ? डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन बिल्ड किया गया, ऑन ग्राउंड गए, जो गर्ल्स के ग्रुप से उनको रीच आउट किए, बोले कि जितने हॉट हॉट बंदे हैं वो हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं, अगर आपने साइन अप कर लिया तो यू विल गेट एक्सेस टू द बेस्ट गाइज. लड़कों के पास जाके बोले सारी अच्छी लड़कियां हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे आ जाओ. फिर अब वो टू एंड फ्रो होते होते आज टिंडर इतना बड़ा बन गया. फेसबुक कैसे स्टार्ट हुआ? फेसबुक की जो हिस्ट्री है दैट इज रियली बैड. दे स्टार्टेड रेटिंग गर्ल्स,
हाँ.
दैट इज फ्रॉम वेयर दे स्टार्टेड. तभी तो फेसबुक इज द नेम ना. मतलब that is a history that he is not proud of. This guy is not proud of that kind of history, that the things that he's done to reach here. So that is somehow or the other you have to do something. You have to get down on the ground. You have to call up all your batchmates and say please मेरा ये यूज करो, ये करो. अच्छा यूज कर रहा हो, मुझे पैसे दो, ₹100 दो महीने के. करना पड़ेगा भाई. नहीं कर पाओगे तो नहीं बिल्ड कर पाओ कंपनी. दैट इज लाइक द बेसिक वन लाइन. ये नहीं कर सकते, कंपनी नहीं बिल्ड होगी. जॉब करो. वो और टफ चीज है भाई, बहुत टफ चीज है. मुझे भी बहुत रोना पड़ा है, बट किए सेल्स करनी पड़ी.
Sir, how Swiggy is different from Zomato, or they are doing the same thing?
यार देखो, ये थोड़ा सा अभी ज्यादा टेक्निकल क्वेश्चन हो गया. एक साहिल का क्वेश्चन है, मैं वो ले लेता हूँ.
Okay,
ठीक है
okay, ठीक है.
साहिल,
sir,
यू वर
sir, I
आस्किंग
want to
समथिंग.
ask about. I want to take an example of company like
तनाया,
Oyo.
ये 6 के बियॉन्ड जा रहा है, तो इफ क्या करना है?
Sir, actually, we have quiz at the quiz competition. We had scheduled it at 6, but we've delayed it for
अभी
15.
तो 6:15 कर दिया.
So, all
बट
the participants, you guys can leave at 6:05 or 6:10. And the rest of you guys who are not participating, maybe, sir, if you have the time, we can continue the conversation.
I have the time if someone has any question. अच्छा, can you people just give me 4-5 minutes? मैं बहुत देर से बैठा हुआ हूँ, मुझे थोड़ा पानी पीना है. So if there are like 5, 6 of you, Niharika, Sahil, hands up, and Ayush and all, so these people, I guess they can stay and we can have a chat for another 25-30 minutes. और बाकी लोग leave कर सकते हैं. And Tanay, you can stop the recording. अब मैं थोड़ा
Sure.
सा I can get out of my character now.
All right.
So guys, just take just 5 minutes, freshen up a bit, and then we'll get back and I'll answer all